Hello guys, welcome back to Turn Returning channel, and today I will answer all the questions. In IELTS speaking test practice. So let's move to part one. Part one consists 5 questions, and each questions I have to answer about more than 30 seconds. Now let's start with question one. How often do you watch or read the news? Mm, well, I occasionally watch the news, and yes, but I prefer to watch the news or read the newspaper or updating notifications in the morning in order to catch up the in the current events and again you know and again I occasionally stay in the evening in updating notifications or catch up the news. So let's start question two. What kind of news are you most interested in? Hold on, wait for me a minute. Now I continue. What kind of news are you most interested in? Well, yes, I'm most interested in in international news. Yes, because not to not for just updating lots of global news that was hot on that makes me far concerned about the world. It helps me stay informed about the events in the world and their influence to just to our social, and it it's make an influence for me to stay updated for future days. Let's move on to question three. Do you prefer to get news from TV, newspaper, or online? Personally, I prefer getting news online. Yes, because not just it's pretty convenient. Yes, I just do some research. It's also easy for accessible, and just now I can choose variety of sources in order to update the news and mm, oh, never mind. Let's move on to question four. How has the way people consume news changed in recent years? People are now you consume news through digital platforms such as websites, social media, or newspaper apps, or opposed to traditional newspapers or television either. And there are also a shift towards shorter and more digestible content. Let's go on to question five. Do you think it's important to stay informed about current events? Why not? Yes, definitely. It's important to stay informed about current events. Yes, because it helps to make informed decisions or understand the world around you, or participate in social discussions. Let's move on to part two. In part two, there are only one questions, and I have to answer them for 2 minutes. Describe a recent news stories that interest you. Mm, Today I've introduced you about the ongoing conflict, between Russia and Ukraine, and yes, it's focusing on the humanitarian, crisis, and yes, and also the response from the outside world, to these situations, and yes, I heard it through many social platforms such as TV, social media, or or Baomei apps. In order to update the news, and and which are sharing the updates in real time, and I found it really pretty just interesting because the highlights of the complexities of international relations and the human influence of the on the conflict. And yes, I think you know the story is a crucial reminder of the importance of the diplomacy and international cooperation, and it also raises awareness of the die for humanitarian aid and support for those affected. Now we move on to part 3. In part 3 consists 5 questions, and I answer them for over 30 seconds. What role does the media play in shaping public opinion? Yes, media is nowadays are playing the considerable role in shaping the public opinion, by selecting, stories, to highlight and how they are presented. And the frame of news you can impact, how people, perceive the issues and events, and often, shape their beliefs, and attitudes. Let's move on to question 2. How can people be sure that the news they are receiving is accurate? Yes, people can ensure the accuracy of the news, by by referencing the informations, from multiple sources, and checking for creativity, of the author, and publication, or or being wary of sensationalism, or bias. Let's move on to question 3. What are the challenges faced by journalists in today's world? Journalists, face challenges, such as the pressure of the, produce, the quick content and more accurate, and the spread of misinformation, or physical, or the threatened by digital, and and the struggle to maintain their objectivity, in an increasingly environment. Let's go on to question 4. How has social media changed the ways news is reported and consumed? Social media is accelerate the speed at which news is reported or consumed, and just allowing for real time engagement. And but however, it has also led to the of the unverified information, and increased the spread of misinformation. Let's move on to our final question of today. Do you think there is enough diversity in the news media? Well, why not? Well, there's still still lack of of diversity in the news media, and both in terms of the perspective represent, and the representation of the different voices. This lack of diversity can lead into the narrow issues, and overlook the experiences of various communities. That was the end of my practice test. Yes, it's just normal, but it will be a part of my career. And again, thank you for listening.